All right, well, let's do updates first. Um, so I did put in midterm grades, and so you should have received that. Everybody should have done well. Um, and because most of you, if you needed to catch up, you got caught up. So that was great. Um, I think everybody did good at getting the last assignment in. We have a couple people who had trouble connecting with their partners for psychological first aid. Um, but so make sure you get that in. Um, but you all emailed me if you're having a problem, and I responded. Um, so let's see. I did make some changes to the syllabus. Uh, and I just kind of want to go over them with you, but nothing crazy, basically giving you more time to do things. Um, so let me share that with you. If I make any change in the syllabus outline, I just like sharing it with you. Um, okay, so we are on 1023. Now, I know it seems like we're moving from one project right into the next one, but the reason it seems like that is because each project used to be due in 1 week and then you'd have a week off. But I didn't think that was enough time for you to get the projects done to work with a partner. So I just made each project due date 2 weeks. And that's why, like, the ACEs project was due in 2 weeks, and then we start the psychological first aid. So, like, some things I changed was I deleted the discussion board for that second week because I gave you 2 weeks to do the project. I didn't want you to work on a project and a discussion board. So you'll notice that I deleted the discussion board there. I deleted the discussion board there because you're working on these projects. Um, I will probably delete the discussion board for the suicide assessment, which is tonight's project, because I'll give you 2 weeks to do that as well. So I think that'll be the only other change I make. Um, the other change I made was I wanted the chapters in the book to line up with my lectures. So, for instance, chapter 15, that was the reading for tonight. But chapter 15 is about EMDR. So I wanted that to match up with the night that I did the EMDR lecture. And tonight we're just going to be talking about suicide prevention. So suicide prevention was the topic, but we're going to talk about suicide prevention, intervention, and grief and loss, because I think it's important to cover not just prevention, but intervention and grief and loss as well. Because anytime grief and loss involves suicide, it becomes complicated grieving. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But the good thing is that most of the, I don't know what to call it, but the more cognitive lectures, like information, are will be done after tonight. And then we're going to get into some more experiential stuff. So, like, for instance, next week we're doing expressive arts and play therapy. I used to be a play therapist. Um, and then the week after that, we're going to be talking about EMDR, meditation, mandalas, mindfulness. Uh, then we're going to be talking about yoga. And then we have kind of like the last couple chapters before Thanksgiving break. And then after Thanksgiving break, we're going to talk about new methodology like psychedelics, ketamine therapy, things like that. Um, and we're not going to have a class during finals week. We don't have a final. The only other big So in most of the big assignments will be done after the suicide thing. So even though I didn't make up these assignments, I think they're really worthwhile. I think they're on the right subjects. I think they're things you need to know if you wanted to go work in trauma and counseling. Um, but the only other big project is a final paper. We're going to talk about that later after you're done this suicide um, assignment. I'll go over that. But I also lowered the number of pages required for the final paper because I think you've done a lot of assignments. And these are big assignments, like throughout the semester. So I'm okay with a shorter paper. And it's your choice, whatever the paper's on, some topic from this semester that you're interested in. That's all, something you want to learn more about. Something maybe like, maybe you always said, oh, I want to work, in counseling and trauma, but maybe you have a very specific area. And, so you have the freedom to explore any topic this semester from this class in more detail, or even one I didn't go over or the book didn't touch upon, as long as it has to do with trauma and crisis. So you have a lot of freedom with this paper. But we'll go in detail later after you're done with this next assignment. But so the last month of November, from the last day, from like October 30th on, so we got 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's going to be much more experiential learning. And you're actually, even if you're watching a recorded video, I still want you to actually do the activities, you know. And there's no grades for the activities. There might be a discussion board to write what was it like, you know, doing mandalas or something like that. But, I want you to try the yoga. I want you to try the mandalas, all that good stuff, just to see what it was like. Don't try the psychedelics. All right. Um, let's see. Uh, yeah, those are the updates. Um, we're not going to have any assignment over Thanksgiving unless you want to work on that paper. uh, yeah. So, midterm grades, update on the syllabus. Um, so let's look at D2L a second so I can give updates on that. And those minor changes I uploaded to D2L. But if we look in week 9, which is this week, I have an entire video, like I do every assignment, just about the assignment that you'll be doing with your partner. And it seems like everybody's worked out the kinks with partners and recording. I haven't heard of any more issues with that. But I will make a little recording tonight while we're in class with you. I'll record the lecture. We'll look at each of these links that you can use for this assignment. And yeah, this is, dun, dun, I don't think you'll have that. This is the Dropbox for it, for the suicide assessment role play. And you know, we can lower that. So this will be different than the syllabus. I could just cut down the minutes for the recording. All right. So that should help. And you'll have 2 weeks again to do it, just like the other ones. So hopefully you won't feel too rushed. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. What's he talking about? Yeah. So week 9, we're going to go over each of these links tonight. There's an entire video just describing the assignment again. This is the Dropbox. I changed it from 30 minutes to 15 minutes. I didn't change that in the syllabus. I just changed it here. And yeah, so that's it. All right. Any questions or problems that we can talk about before we kind of do the lecture on suicide prevention, intervention, and grief and loss? Yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
For the forms that you went and filled out, from the appendix, the questions I could copy and paste into a Word doc, but the one that actually had like the boxes and the formatting, I wasn't able to put those, I couldn't copy and paste them into a document. So I
Let's
just
look
printed
at
them
this.
out,
Yeah.
scanned them, and uploaded them.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. So it's just handwritten stuff in there.
All right. So let me just check this out real quick so I know what you're talking about here. All right. So if we go to the syllabus and we go to the end. So I'm guessing this is a PDF. That's why it was hard to copy the box. Yeah. So what you can do, which I didn't say, is you can download the syllabus and open it with Microsoft Word, and it should convert it back. It might not be perfect, but you can do it that way. Or you can just print them and scan them and upload them, or even take a picture of them. Whatever's easiest for you. It doesn't matter to me as long as I can see what you did, really. So whatever you're able to do, I'm good with that. What else?
I have a question about this next project. So we are doing also like a monk session and then discuss about it.
Yeah, we'll go over the entire instructions. There's a long video just on instructions for this assignment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it does answer that question.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to avoid your question, but I mean, it goes in a lot of detail, you know. And then if that doesn't answer your question, just send me an email. Yeah. But yeah, you'll be working with your partner, you'll be doing a role play, you'll evaluate your partner, how they did. They'll do the same for you. You'll write a 2-page thing about it to submit with the role play. All right. All right. Well, let's see. Dun, dun.